What's up, guys? This is the Z, bringing you with my Dragonic Vanquisher deck profile. I've been meaning to do this for a while, just haven't had the time due to work and being super tired from my regionals, which was Anaheim. This deck got me day 2. Would have at least got me top 8 had I taken a minute longer and been a good player. So let's go ahead and get straight to the deck profile. Now, for grade 3s, I'm running 7, running 4 sparking, because sparking is a lot. Don't get me wrong, I do like the old Vanquisher, but I feel like this one helps out a lot with the counterblasting problem and soul problem. And just on first stride, you are able to get at least Thunderstruck 2, always. And then for the secondary grade 3, I run 3 of the old Vanquisher with the new art, because I like this one a lot better. I don't like one strike his 2 Jin, because I don't know, just personal preference. And plus, once I explain the stride deck to you, defensively with Dragonic Vanquisher, you can actually get him kind of like a Gabriel type of situation. You get power on your opponent's turn by retiring your opponent's cards. That's it for the grade 3s. Now going off to the grade 2s, I ran 2 Grizel. I only ran 2, don't get me wrong, she is a very beautiful beat stick, 18k and not even GB. But only ran 2 because there are some decks that can play with the bind zone. Her first skill is actually kind of good, I like it. Whenever she's attacked or chosen by a card effect, your opponent has to bind 1. So even if they try to like blow it up, or if they even try to like lock it, choose it for lock, or just try to like attack it and get it off the field, they still have to bind 1. Now for the other 2 grade 2s, I ran 2 martial arts. I kind of like him for early. Like if your opponent tries to rush you, well, guess what? I'm gonna ride this. It's only good on Vanguard. Don't get me wrong, that kind of sucks, but it's good to stop early rush, because Counterblast, Soul Blast, not that much of a problem anymore with the new starter, but it does get rid of fields, and you're already guaranteed Thunderstrike 1 by turn 2 most of the time. And its rearguard circle effect, GB1, Thunderstrike 2, during your turn, it's a 12k attacker. You'll notice all my grade 2s are actually Thunderstrike, and you'll understand why. For the other, I ran 4 Plea Lightning Helena. I like him a lot better, because I don't know, personally I feel like he's an automatic +1. So even if I just place him down from hand, I'm already guaranteed +1, as long as my opponent's at Thunderstrike 3, and if I have a Vanguard or Vanquisher, which is very hard not to do with this deck. Its cost is basically Counterblast 1, Thunderstrike 3. Whenever it's put on rear, if you have Vanguard or Vanquisher, it gets you automatically +1, and it gets 2k. I like it because it's a Thunderstrike. Now, you'll understand why I have the other card with me too. People are probably gonna be in the comments yelling at me like, "Oh, why don't you run Chitura? Chitura is good as an early rush." It is. Don't get me wrong, but the fact is the domination matchup. Okay, well my opponent can use that against me, and what if I need to take the hit? I need to save up for my opponent's attack. Well, Plea Lightning is actually an automatic +1, whereas Chitura, it has to hit. Sure, Chitura can bind 1, but either way, they're both 11Ks, whereas Helena can actually attack a rearguard. This one can't. And Chitura actually isn't Thunderstrike, and I'll show you more reasons why I like Thunderstrike a lot more better than Chitura than early rush, as much as it sucks. And as my last 3 cards, I run 3 Kojin, because Kojin is very, very spicy nowadays. It's a continuous guard circle, GB1, Thunderstrike 2. On Guardian Circle, it gets 10k shield. So basically, you can intercept with this from your hand, boom, it's 15k shield. Or you can throw it from your hand, boom, 15k shield. And it's Thunderstrike. I ran 3 of him because it's good for the Battle System matchup. And instead of having to like drop like, okay, I can't go with zeros, but guess what? Boom, I have a 15k shield from hand. What's the other reason? Well, instead of having to drop, like, let's say 2 cards, oh, it's a 15k. Instead of having to drop a 10k, like, crit from my hand and a 5k draw trigger from my hand, okay, I'm gonna drop this instead. Boom, save more hand, conserve more hand for the next turn, or just conserving more hand in the essence. With this deck, also, it's very hard not to get hand. If you have questions, like more questions why, you can go ahead, PM me, comment. Now let's go to the grade 1s. I ran 4 Anastasia, or this new Anastasia, Summon Lightning Dancing Princess Anastasia. It's good because you can guard rear guards with this PG, because PGs are always essential or staples nowadays. Its third effect is probably the most spiciest effect in the entire game, or in this deck, I would say. Whenever you're done PGing with it, and as long as you're at Thunderstrike 4, you can draw a card. So say your opponent is trying to play the grade 2 matchup, grade 2 game with you, and you're able to get Thunderstrike 4, well, guess what? It's not GB, so I'm able to draw 1 after I'm done PGing. Now for the next 4 cards I'm running is probably an essential staple in any deck. Is 4 Strive Fathers. Basically, like most Strive Fathers, basically whenever it's placed, you can reveal a grade 3 from hand. With this one, you can grab a Vanquish from deck, and then as soon as you add it to your hand, discard a card from your hand. And then as soon as you're paying for cost, you can ditch this and it's automatic 3. So in a sense, kind of conserve more hand. Next 3 cards I run are actually 3 Dragon Dancer for teens. Thunderstrike 2 on placement of rear guard circle. Pay the cost. If you do, you draw a card. It's a Soul Blast 1. I like it because it's a non-GB effect, and it's a Thunderstrike 2. So with the new starter, you're able to get Thunderstrike 2 by at least turn 2 or turn 3. And it's automatic +1. So I place it from hand, and I automatically draw 1, unless for some reason I don't have soul. Now for the 3 last grade 1s I run are 3 Smashboxer Dragons. I like him a lot. This is probably what the deck needed the most. Is basically, don't get me wrong, they're both GB1 effects, but whenever this is boosting a Thunderstrike card, or a card with Thunderstrike, that unit and this unit can be chosen by the affected card effect. So basically, it gives that when it's boosting with, let's say, if I can find it, with martial arts, since martial arts does have Thunderstrike, boom, that whole column gets resist. Now, same thing with Helena. Helena would get resist too because it has Thunderstrike. Now, where I say Chitura wouldn't get resist because it does not have Thunderstrike. Now, the other effect I think is very beautiful. I think this is another card that the deck needed. Thunderstrike 3, put this unit to soul. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard or Vanquisher, pay the cost. Basically, you throw it to soul. If you do, you draw 1 and countercharge. So not only are you gaining soul, you're countercharging, and you're automatically plussing 1. So even if you ditch this card from hand, okay, guess what? I'm gonna plus another 1. And at the same time, I'm getting soul and countercharging. And that's it for the grade 1s. If I can get them all together and put them away. Now let's go off to the triggers. Triggers, I ran 4 heals. Staple, you have to run 4 heals, but I ran this one because it's probably the best one you want to run. He combos with the MP Dragon. Basically, if you discard from hand for the cost of G guarding with MP Dragon, if you have 1 or less face up in the damage, Soul Blast 1, countercharge 1. Usually don't ever have to use it for that effect, but you know what? If I do, I'll go ahead and do it. Next is 4 essential staples in the deck. My friend Jacob Harden actually not yelled at me, but he scolded me to run these. These are the Vanquisher crits. Lightning Triumphant Return Race of. Whenever you throw, your Vanguard attacks. I'm sorry, I'm super tired this morning. Whenever your Vanguard attacks, if you have grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Vanquisher in its card name, pay the cost, which basically you throw in the soul. If you do, basically you draw a card, choose up to one of your Vanguards, and give it 5k. So just by throwing it down. If your opponent isn't playing Kagura or just some deck that like automatically just like blows it up or whatever, you're automatically plussing 1 just from your Vanguard attacking. You're giving it power as well, and you're getting soul at the same time. So like in a sense, even if I throw this down from hand, I'm drawing 1, and I'm giving my Vanguard power, and I'm giving it getting soul. Yeah, I'm getting soul. Also, what else? It's not even GB, so it's even better. Another 4 I ran, Percy. Even though there's Malevolent Jinn, it's either or with these two because it's the same effect. Basically, it's an act on rearguard. Basically, you throw it to soul, give one of your rearguards 3k. Never had to use it for that effect, unless I just want to push and kill my opponent that turn. But it's kind of does help out with soul, gives it power. Now the next 4 I run, a lot of people might get a little bit mad or just kind of curious. Personally, I'm not a stand type of guy. I don't like stands in the deck, and with the stands with I'm trying to remember her name. If someone can comment, the very first stand they got, I didn't like her personally because the deck does already just draw and counter charge in a sense. But sure I am recycling, but I like draw triggers a lot more because draw triggers are very good defensively. So basically, let's say if I take a damage, boom, it happens to be a draw trigger. Guess what, opponent? That's another card in my hand. Sucks to suck. With this deck, it's very hard to never go below at least 7 cards in hand. That's it for triggers, and just for the starters, I run 2 Hard Rod because Gear Chronicles are a thing and they can spend 1, but I run 2 because basically it's not even GB with these 2. Basically, you'll rest it, and guess what? They bind a card from drop. Thunderstrike 4 ability as well. Basically, you'll counterblast 1. Towards the soul, give one of your rearguards 3k, and then your opponent has to retire and bind 1, so that's 1 already bound. But the first effect, or the second, technically, because Forerunner. Second effect is basically rest this unit. Your opponent chooses a card from his or her drop zone, binds it face up. And your opponent cannot bind. They basically have to, you countercharge 1, and you give one of your rearguards with Thunderstrike 3k. I ran 2 because why not 2? Now let's go off to the Stride deck. I'm running 4 V-Buster because V-Buster is essentially a staple in this deck now. Basically, act once per turn. I wish it was more, but we can't be broken like that. You'll basically G-flip 1, or Persona flip technically. Persona flip, your opponent has to retire 1 from, or bind 1 from their field and 1 from their drop, both at the same time. And let's say if you happen to have more than your opponent, you give 3 units 3k. Now, the GB3 skill, which is very hard not to hit GB3 nowadays, Thunderstrike 7, this deck does turbo Thunderstrike, so it's everything from set 12, literally turbo Thunderstrike. GB3 Thunderstrike 7, all your front row units get 5k, and this unit gets crit and a drive. Crit and a drive is very scary nowadays, because most of the time I usually use this, my opponent's usually already at 3. And quad drive is very scary nowadays. Well, it's kind of common, but it's still scary. Now, I run 4 voltage. I'm sorry I couldn't get the triple R. I'm not rich like that. But, basically, voltage is a persona flip. It's an act once per turn. Until end of turn, whenever it hits, your opponent would have to, let's say if it did hit, it has to hit the Vanguard. Your opponent chooses one of his or her rearguards, retire it, and then you choose 2 cards from their bind zone, and then bind them. Or choose 2 cards from their drop zone, my bad. Drop zone, and then bind them. And then continuous Vanguard, GB3 as well. During your turn, all your units in the front row get plus 3k for each card in your opponent's bind zone. So, usually by the time I use this, I usually use this, let's say in a common match, I'll use this after GB8, because they already have like 30 cards bound, and let's say for some weird reason they survive, well, guess what? Voltage is coming out to kick you in the butt. And I also run it for the name reasons. Even though both my grade 3s are Vanquisher, I still like it. Another card is another staple in this deck. Conquering Supreme Dragon VMAX. Basically GB3. Thunderstrike 5. Again, very hard not to hit Thunderstrike 5 with this deck. Counterblast 2 at the end of battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. If they happen to have no rear guards, pay the cost. If you do, Counterblast 2, your opponent takes damage. And then also Continuous Vanguard, that's whenever it attacks, you choose one rear guard for each face-up Vanquisher card you have in the G zone. And it battles all of them in that attack. So let's say if you happen to not blow up their entire field already, then guess what? I'm gonna attack it, and then if they happen to have no field besides the Vanguard, they're gonna take a damage. Another staple in every single G deck is Air Element Sea Breeze, because your opponent likes to play grade 2 game and if they don't ride to grade 3, and you're already at grade 3, well guess what? Stride, boom, all my GB1 effects are gonna blast off. Now let's start off with the last card I can stride into with this deck is the GB8. I love this card. It kind of helped me out in a lot of games. Basically, as soon as you stride it, the entire field blows up, and what else? It binds all your opponent's drop zone. And all your units get 2k for every single card bound. So most of the time, my opponent's already gonna have 30 cards bound, and that's kind of scary because that's basically 60k to every single unit. Kind of running short on time, so let's go ahead and speed this up. For G guards, I run 2 Bulwark because that's an essential staple nowadays. Thunderstrike 3 on Guardian Circle gets 10k shields, very hard not to do. And whenever it's at the end of the battle that you used it, basically for every card bound, for every 4 cards bound, you choose up to 1 rested rear guard in the front row and retire it. 2 MP because that's personally to me, I feel like a staple. I feel like it's an essential staple, and you definitely want to run this because you can combo this off with the old Vanquisher. As soon as you use it, you'll basically G flip 1. It has to be G Guardian. At the end of the when it's placed on Guardian Circle, pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards, retires it, and binds it face up. And if you happen to have 2 or less more than your opponent rear guard wise, they have to choose one more and retire it. So let's say if I have an empty field, that's 2 cards already gone. I ran 2 of those, and now for the last card of the deck, I ran 1 Vitra because I didn't want to run the new one, which is basically I have it right here. I didn't want to run him because of mirror match, and because basically if I used him, I would have to bound 2, whereas this one it automatically goes Thunderstrike 1 gets 5k shield. Sure, this gets more shield, but this one does help me mirror match wise. And yeah, that's it. If you like this deck profile, or if you have any questions, go ahead like, subscribe. I'll be bringing more deck profiles. If you have any questions, go ahead, comment below, and have a good day, Vanguard.